A strong coastal storm could form early next week, bringing rain and wind to a lot of people. But the details on how the storm is going to form and who's going to be affected are still unclear. Let's break it down. Hi guys, I'm John with New York Metro Weather. Today is Wednesday, December 13th. We are looking at the mid-levels of the atmosphere here at vorticity. So basically just spin in the atmosphere. This helps us to figure out where the disturbances are and what we need to watch for as these disturbances evolve across the country. And what we see here very clearly is two different disturbances valid later this week and early this weekend. We have one over the northern plains and another one down here across the Mississippi Valley. And these two disturbances are going to combine or phase, and that is going to lead to the potential for a large storm in the southeast United States and perhaps eventually up the entire East Coast as well. Let's watch these two disturbances phase. Here they go. They're going to interact with each other and form. We even have a third one here coming out of the Gulf of Mexico. These all combine into one system. And what this does is it takes a lot of moisture and lift and puts it up the East Coast, resulting in heavy rain. Eventually, there will be a fourth potential interaction between this disturbance over Canada that drops in early next week and potentially phases again. So obviously, there's a lot to break down here, right? We have multiple disturbances phasing into one, and then we have another potential interaction along the East Coast. The result of all of this, though, is going to be the potential for unsettled weather, including rain, flooding, and wind, as well as maybe some winter weather when this last piece phases in. Here's what models are showing, and one of the reasons why we're so interested in this potential storm system is so much moisture. So we're looking at the precipitable water, basically just the moisture content in the atmosphere. And look at the anomalies. These are 4-5 sigma above normal. This will track northward along the East Coast, and you can see this moisture surging northward and becoming more impressive as this system evolves, all the way from the southeast states into the mid-Atlantic, and then eventually into New England as we get into Monday. This is Sunday into Monday. Moisture content way above normal. So we know we have a big disturbance aloft, and we have a lot of moisture, and the end result of all of that is often quite a bit of rain. This is the latest European model. And we'll track this valid Sunday with rain across a lot of Florida and then tracking northward into parts of the southeast states Monday, early morning, heavy rain across parts of the mid-Atlantic states, and then that tracks northward into New England with very heavy rainfall across not only New England but even the interior northeast as well. So we're looking at the potential for widespread rain from Sunday into Monday if this storm comes together. Then we'll watch for the potential backside of this storm, because some models, remember I told you about that fourth disturbance, are working in this fourth disturbance and bringing some snow into the interior on Monday. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. For most of the coverage region here along the East Coast, though, this is a rainstorm. There's just not a lot of cold air to go around to keep this interesting in terms of winter weather. But this big low pressure wraps up, and whenever you wrap a low pressure in like this from the coast inland, you get a lot of wind, and we want to see the model forecast for wind. We can pull them up right here. You can see very clearly as this storm pulls in from Florida into the Carolinas and the mid-Atlantic, your onshore flow is quite strong. This is 50 to 60 knot winds here, just a little bit off the surface. So pulling some really impressive onshore flow in, likely looking at high surf, the potential for coastal flooding and winds. And then that same band just tracks northward, so eventually into parts of Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, and then New Jersey and New York on Monday as well, before exiting off the coast of New England. So not only rain a threat, but also the onshore flow here from these strong winds with this system as it evolves. Here are the projected rainfall totals on the latest European ensemble. That's the blend of 50 different weather models. And generally, this is a 1 to 3 inch rainfall event across a lot of the northeast United States, and the potential exists for even more rain inside of those regions, right? If you look closely, there's some 3 to 4 inch totals in here. So there's a lot to break down with this system. The bottom line is that late this week into early next week, Sunday into Monday, late this weekend, into early next week, the potential exists for a fairly impactful storm. There's a lot of moisture here, and there's a lot of rainfall being projected on these models as this low pressure system wraps up into the mid-Atlantic and into New England. So if you live in this region, not really much to do. Just keep an eye on this potential storm system. As we get closer, we'll get a better idea, not only into the specifics of the storm, but how these two disturbances will phase. That'll all impact the evolution of this system as it tracks up the East Coast, and will begin to give us a better idea as to what we can expect in terms of actual impacts and any hazardous weather along the East Coast from Sunday into Monday, including the potential for heavy rain, wind, wind, as well as some coastal flooding and high surf as well. Stay tuned. If you have any questions, leave them right in the comments. We'll be tracking this with you over the next couple of days, breaking down the details by region and getting into the specifics and the intricacies of this storm as we gain some confidence and get a little closer to the system's formation Sunday into Monday. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Talk to you soon.